Go Mechanic சாலையோர உதவி மற்றும் மைல்ஸ் மெம்பர்ஷிப். இந்த குளிர்காலத்தில் வீட்டில் இருந்தபடியே எக்ஸ்பர்ட் கார் சர்வீசஸ் பெறுங்கள். சர்வீசஸ் மீது 750 ரூபாய் தள்ளுபடி பெறுங்கள்.
Who nobody believed in. Who says people are telling them, why are you even playing? Why don't you just sit at home? You know, what's the point of this? You are not going to win anything. Kapil Dev said, I'll show you. I'll show you what we can do.
A once-in-a-lifetime film, just like the 1983 World Cup campaign, will always remain once-in-a-lifetime event.
Wicket is the most important thing, and that's why we were there.
Kabir sir, with his documentary background, was very precise in executing the parts of which video footage are accessible. So the presentation being one of them, those images of Kapil sir on the balcony holding the cup, those are iconic, forever images that have been consumed over and over again across generations, that instill us with such great pride. Thank you for your question. Thank you for how you started that question. Yes, I have now completed 10 years, a decade in show business. Thank you. It's been a very fulfilling and rewarding journey. I feel very blessed. I get to do what I love to do for a living, and I'm ever so grateful every single day, filled and overwhelmed with gratitude for my opportunities. And speaking about opportunities, there has never ever been an opportunity for me like this, playing a living legend, someone who is loved and admired so greatly across generations. A huge responsibility, but I felt up to the task because I love cricket and I love my country and I love cinema. So all the work that was put in didn't feel like an effort. It was simply a joy. Every single day that I spent in this creative process I will cherish for the rest of my life. There were so many incidents that are just etched in my mind and heart and soul forever. The time that I spent with Ballu sir, our coach, our touchstone. He played in the 1983 team, champion himself, was our touchstone on the set. He was there every day. He was our coach. I was blessed with a fine team that Kabir sir put together. Everybody so committed. The cast so keen to put their best foot forward. This kind of energy, good people with good intentions putting their best foot forward, is what created something that we are today very, very proud of. And stuff like staying in his house for 2 weeks, doing research on this great character, him coming and showing me his bowling action on the ground himself, being at Lord's, holding the actual 1983 World Cup for the scene, being at Tunbridge Wells, playing and shooting the 175 not out that nobody's ever seen. It's just that mystical, greatest ODI innings of all time that you will see for the first time on the big screen in 83. And what a glorious chapter that is. I was at Tunbridge Wells shooting that, and Kapil sir was there in the flesh, witnessing us recreate that. So these sorts of things have been fulfilling beyond words. This entire creative process is a journey that I will never ever forget and cherish for the rest of my life. It's just been overwhelming and continues to be. I was at the public screening, the first public screening of this film a couple of nights ago, and I really fall short of words to describe the emotion in that room when the lights came on. And I'm really very excited that is now going to be in cinema halls across the world. 83 on 24th December. I can't wait for you all to see it and experience the emotion.
See, 83 World Cup campaign-ന്റെ വിഷയം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഒരുപാട് ഫിൽം മേക്കേഴ്സും ആക്ടേഴ്സും എന്തെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ സ്വപ്നം കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടാവും അതൊരു സിനിമയാക്കിയാലോ എന്ന്. എനിക്ക് നല്ല ഓർമ്മയുണ്ട് ഈ സിനിമയുടെ അനൗൺസ്മെൻറ്റ് ഞാൻ കാണുന്നത്. ഞാനും എൻ്റെ തിരക്കഥാകൃത്തുമായ മുരളി ഗോപിയും ഒരുമിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നൊരു സായനത്തിലാണ് ഇങ്ങനെ 1983 എന്ന സിനിമ കബീർ ഖാൻ രൺവീർ സിംഗ് ചെയ്യുന്നു എന്ന അനൗൺസ്മെൻറ്റ് കാണുന്നത്. അന്ന് ആദ്യം ഞാൻ മുരളിയെടുത്ത് പറഞ്ഞ വാക്കിതാണ്, ഒരാൾ ഗട്ട്സ് കാണിച്ചല്ലേ, ഐ മീൻ സംബഡി ഷോഡ് ദ ഗട്ട്സ്. ഞാൻ ആ ഗട്ട്സ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ വാക്ക് ഉപയോഗിക്കാൻ കാര്യം ഹ്യൂജ് റെസ്പോൺസിബിലിറ്റിയാണ്. നമ്മൾ ഇന്ത്യയുടെ ഒരു ഏറ്റവും ഐക്കോണിക് ഹിസ്റ്റോറിക് ഇവൻറ്റ് റീക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുക എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഇറ്റ്സ് എ ഹ്യൂജ് റെസ്പോൺസിബിലിറ്റി. ആൻഡ് ഇറ്റ്സ് എ റെസ്പോൺസിബിലിറ്റി ടു സിനിമ ലവേഴ്സ്, ടു ക്രിക്കറ്റ് ലവേഴ്സ്, ആൻഡ് മോർ ദൻ എനിത്തിങ് എൽസ് ഇറ്റ്സ് എ റെസ്പോൺസിബിലിറ്റി ടു കപിൽ ദേവ് സർ ആൻഡ് ഹിസ് വണ്ടർഫുൾ ടീം. അവരെല്ലാവരും ഈ സിനിമ കാണില്ലേ, അവരുടെ ലൈഫിൽ. കുറച്ച് നേരത്തെ മുമ്പ് കപിൽ ദേവ് സാർ എന്നോട് പറയായിരുന്നു, 83 വേൾഡ് കപ്പിൻ്റെ ഒരുപാട് ഇമോഷണൽ ഹൈസ് ആൻഡ് ലോസ് എനിക്കിന്ന് ഓർമ്മയില്ല, ഞാൻ മറന്നുപോയി. ആ വേൾഡ് കപ്പ് കയ്യിലെടുത്ത നിമിഷമൊന്നും സത്യത്തിൽ എനിക്ക് ഓർമ്മയില്ല. ഐ ഡോണ്ട് റിമെമ്പർ ഇറ്റ് ബിക്കോസ് ഇറ്റ് വാസ് ഓൾ ലൈക്ക് ഒരു ബ്ലറാണ് എനിക്ക് എന്ന് കുറച്ച് നേരത്തെ എന്നോട് പറയായിരുന്നു. ആൻഡ് ഹീ ഈസ് ടെല്ലിങ് മീ വി വിൽ നൗ റീലിവ് ദോസ് മൊമെന്റ്സ് ബൈ വാച്ചിങ് ദിസ് ഫിലിം. ഹൗ ബിഗ് എ റെസ്പോൺസിബിലിറ്റി ഇസ് ദാറ്റ്? So, as a producer, as a distributor, as a director and an actor, to me, this film is not merely a piece of cinema. ഒരു സ്ക്രീനിൽ കാണുന്ന ഒരു സിനിമ എന്നുള്ളതിനപ്പുറത്തേക്ക് ഒരു പ്രസൻറ്റർ എന്ന നിലയിൽ ഒരു ഉത്തരവാദിത്വം ഇതിൽ എനിക്കുമുണ്ട് എന്ന് വിശ്വസിക്കുന്ന ഒരാളാണ് ഞാൻ. ഇതൊരു ഐക്കോണിക് ഇവൻറ്റിൻ്റെ റീക്രിയേഷനാണ്. ആ ഇവൻറ്റിൻ്റെ ഇമോഷണൽ ഹൈസ് ആൻഡ് ലോസ് എല്ലാം കണ്ട് ആസ്വദിച്ച് അനുഭവിക്കാൻ പ്രേക്ഷകർ തിയേറ്ററിൽ എത്തുമ്പോൾ ആ ഒരു ഒത്തുചേരലിൽ എനിക്ക് കൈകോർക്കാൻ സാധിക്കുന്നു എന്ന് പറയുന്നതാണ് എൻ്റെ പ്രിവിലേജ്. സഞ്ജയ് വാദവ എന്ന എൻ്റെ സുഹൃത്ത് എന്നെ വിളിച്ചിങ്ങനെ റിലയൻസ് എൻ്റർടൈൻമെൻറ്റിന് പൃഥ്വിരാജുമായിട്ട് സംസാരിച്ചാൽ കൊള്ളാം, ഈ സിനിമ കേരളത്തിൽ പ്രസൻറ്റ് ചെയ്യുമോ എന്ന് ചോദിക്കാമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ സത്യത്തിൽ ആ സൂം കോളിന് മുമ്പ് തന്നെ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു, ഐ അബ്സല്യൂട്ട്ലി വുഡ് ലവ് ടു പ്രസൻറ്റ് ദ ഫിലിം ബിക്കോസ് ടു മീ ദിസ് ഇസ് a once in a lifetime film, just like the 1983 World Cup campaign will always remain once in a lifetime event.
Hopefully nothing in this film follows the expected path that you have in films. And for me, when I was writing the story, at some point I went and visited Kapil sir and went to their house, and I met the real original Romy Dev, and I realized that energy is very significant and plays a huge part in what Kapil Dev is. And Kapil Dev is not complete without the energy of Romy Dev. And I knew that would be true even in 1983. So it was a decision that no, I must write this character. And sometimes when a character's screen time is not very big, and you can get a sort of a mega star like Deepika, you could be overcasting. But I didn't have any of those fears because I knew that it's only Deepika who could bring that energy. Even though in a limited screen time, she would come and bring that energy immediately into the film. And I went and I spoke to her. And speaking to Deepika had nothing to do with the fact that she was married to Ranveer. That is something that we can all enjoy as a marketing hype, Deepika, Ranveer, real life couple, first film after their marriage. But for me, Deepika was the person to go to, even if she was not married to Ranveer. And I'm so glad that she heard the film, she got moved by the story, and she just said, I want to be a part of this film.
I really do not want to get emotional this morning. I'm not ready to cry, it's too early. But I will try and control my emotions, but tell you by far what was
Spooky, I don't know, it was just too magical for words. We had this incident that happened at the Lords during the shooting of the presentation ceremony. Kabir sir, with his documentary background, was very precise in executing the parts of which video footage are accessible. So the presentation being one of them, those images of Kapil sir on the balcony holding the cup, those are iconic, forever images that have been consumed over and over again across generations that instill us with such great pride. So everybody was very keenly wanting to do their bit in recreating that. All the actors, we were shooting the presentation, so all the actors were seeing the video footage 100 times, 150 times to just make sure every beat of that presentation is done precisely. Then what happened? Suddenly, out of nowhere, Clive Lloyd, actually Clive Lloyd, came to the Lords that day. He came to the balcony, and he was sitting with Kabir sir at the monitor before the first take. Now all of a sudden, we're all in character. I'm dressed in the garb of Kapil sir, and everything is set, and Kabir sir is so precise with his detailing. Every journalist, what they're wearing, where they're sitting, at what point they do the cut of the camera, everything is worked out to the T, and we're ready to shoot, and suddenly Clive Lloyd appears. Okay, so now things are getting very, very spooky. Sir calls the shot and we render the shot. Kapil sir walks up, he's presented the trophy, the envelope, he lifts the cup, he goes to his boys. And now I know the actor, by the end of the take, I know that this has just been the near perfect shot. Okay, and I lifted the cup, I went to the boys and cut was called and there was just silence. And we were all crying. We were all in tears. There were tears coming out of my eyes. Saqib was crying. All the cast members were crying. Kabir sir was crying. We all just huddled up and shared that moment because in that moment between action and cut, we relived that glory and what it would have felt like and meant to all of these people on this balcony and all those people there. It was truly relived between action and cut. And yes, sir, and just mind you, that cup that was presented to me in the shot and that I lifted is the actual 1983 World Cup that on that balcony Kapil sir had lifted. So it was an inexplicably magical and special moment for us, which was for us, the entire team, the cast and the crew, ever so overwhelming that we were moved to tears. And that is one moment that I will never ever forget in this creative process, in this journey. This film has been the most rewarding and fulfilling creative process of my whole life.
Last wicket is the most important thing. And that's why we were there. Is that right?
That's what the West Indians were such a mighty force in cricket, back-to-back World Cups. They were titans of the game. And these underdogs who nobody believed in, who says people are telling them, why are you even playing? Why don't you just sit at home? You know, what's the point of this? You are not going to win anything. Kapil Dev said, I'll show you. I'll show you what we can do.
No, I think it's not me. It's the time the entire team believed we can do it. That was the time we start winning. Yes, somebody had to show the map or road, but I think in the end, I realized that halfway through the team start believing we are not come here to fool around. It is a challenge and we will do it. I think that was the biggest thing.
கோ மெக்கானிக் சாலையோர உதவி மற்றும் மைல்ஸ் மெம்பர்ஷிப். இந்த குளிர்காலத்தில் வீட்டில் இருந்தபடியே எக்ஸ்பர்ட் கார் சர்வீசஸ் பெறுங்கள். சர்வீசஸ் மீது 750 ரூபாய் தள்ளுபடி பெறுங்கள்.